Hello, my friend. Let's just pause for a moment. Right now, in the middle of the hustle, the endless stream of tasks. Remember that feeling when you're alone with your biggest goals? Maybe it happens late at night when the house is quiet. The glow of your monitor paints a dim light on your face, and a cup of long cold tea sits beside you. You're looking at your to-do list, at the plan that's supposed to change your life. There's something almost mythical about that moment, isn't there? The image of the lone wolf, the solitary genius who, in the quiet of their office or their garage like Steve Jobs, creates the future. We've absorbed this idea since childhood, from books and movies. It feels like the true path, to grit our teeth, rely only on ourselves, and carry our own weight. Our culture glorifies individualism. We tell ourselves, no one can do this better than me, or, if you want something done right, do it yourself. We believe that our persistence, our unique, hard-won idea, is the only thing that matters. We tell ourselves, I just have to work harder. One more article, one more chapter, one more sleepless night, and I'll break through. And so, we wait, waiting for our titanic efforts to finally break the dam and bring the long-awaited result. But day follows day, week follows week, and the dam stands firm, unmovable as a mountain. Does that draining feeling sound familiar? When you're giving it your all but moving at a snail's pace, you've reached a certain level, a plateau, and no matter how hard you try, you can't jump any higher. It feels like you're on a treadmill. The scenery outside the window doesn't change, only the number on the fatigue counter goes up. You feel your potential, like water in a sealed pipe, pressing against the walls, unable to find an outlet. You read the books, take the courses, try the new techniques, but the breakthrough never comes. Worse, you see the success stories of others. People who seem to take flight as if by magic, soaring past you while you're stuck in the mud of the mundane. And that's when, in the silence of the night, the corrosive questions start to swarm in your mind. What am I doing wrong? Is my idea not good enough? Am I just not persistent enough? Or maybe I'm just not cut out for this. We've been taught to think the formula for success is a brilliant idea plus titanic effort. But what if that formula is incomplete? What if it's like trying to start a car with only a key and a full tank of gas, completely forgetting about the engine itself? What if we're overlooking the most powerful multiplier, the ultimate catalyst that transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results? What if our cult of individualism, this heroic posture of the lone warrior, is the biggest and most insidious trap on the path to true wealth? What if our mind's operating system, set to I'll do it myself mode, is hopelessly outdated and can't run the next-level applications we want to install? This thought is uncomfortable. It strikes at the very foundation of our self-belief. But it's precisely in this discomfort that the journey to real power begins. Over a century ago, a young reporter named Napoleon Hill, who was barely making ends meet, landed an assignment to interview one of the wealthiest and most influential men of his time, the steel magnate, Andrew Carnegie. Hill thought it would be a standard 20-minute conversation, the peak of his modest career. But Carnegie, that cunning old industrialist, as Hill himself called him, saw something more in the young man's eyes, an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. And so he challenged him. Right there, in his opulent office, he looked at Hill with his steel-gray eyes and asked, "Are you prepared to dedicate the next 20 years of your life, without any payment from me, to studying America's most successful people in order to distill a universal philosophy of success available to everyone?" Carnegie gave him 60 seconds to decide, just 1 minute to decide whether to remain in his understandable, predictable life or to step into the complete unknown, a 20-year pilgrimage without a penny to his name. Imagine that moment, a clock ticking on the mantelpiece, your entire past and your entire future converging on a single point in time. And Hill, at the 58th second, said yes. He crossed the threshold. He embarked on a 2-decade journey that resulted in the book Think and Grow Rich. A book that many have read, but in which almost everyone has missed the main, most non-obvious secret. The secret that Carnegie himself considered the very foundation of his empire. And today, my friend, I invite you to walk in Hill's footsteps, to become a detective in this intellectual investigation, and to find that treasure together. 20 years. Just let that number sink in. This isn't a sprint. It's a generation-long marathon. Hill met with Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, Theodore Roosevelt, Alexander Graham Bell, more than 500 titans who built the modern world. He didn't just record their success stories. Like a detective, he searched for clues, for the common threads that connected all these seemingly different destinies. He saw Henry Ford, a man with only a 6th-grade education, when during a lawsuit they tried to expose him as an ignoramus by asking tricky general knowledge questions. Ford, tired of it, famously declared, "On my desk, there is a row of buttons. By pressing the right one, I can summon assistants who can answer any question. So why should I clutter my mind with general knowledge when I have men around me who can provide me with any information I require?" Ford wasn't the smartest man in the room, but he understood something more important. He understood that knowledge can be summoned. Moreover, he created his own circle of geniuses, the so-called vagabonds. Himself, Thomas Edison, tire manufacturer Harvey Firestone, and naturalist John Burroughs. They traveled together, went fishing, and, in between, in an informal setting, they exchanged ideas that changed the world. It didn't look like a board of directors meeting. It looked like a friendship of geniuses. Hill studied Andrew Carnegie, who openly admitted that his success was based on the knowledge of his team of 50 men. Carnegie himself didn't know much about steel production, but he knew how to unite people who knew everything. His epitaph, which he wrote himself, is carved on his tombstone. Here lies a man who knew how to enlist in his service men who were cleverer than himself. Even in politics, Hill saw the same principle at work. The U.S. Declaration of Independence wasn't the product of Thomas Jefferson's mind alone. It was the result of the Committee of Five, which included Benjamin Franklin and John Adams, who debated, discussed, and honed every phrase in heated arguments for months. Again and again, Hill stumbled upon the same paradox. The greatest fortunes and achievements were created not by the most erudite individuals. They were created by conductors. They were architects. But architects of what? The answer to that question became the main discovery of his life, the crown jewel of his 20-year search. And here it is, the secret that Hill uncovered. The secret that Carnegie himself considered the source of all his power, all his fortune. It's the principle he called the mastermind. What is it? Hill gives a clear definition. The coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people who work towards a definite purpose in a spirit of complete harmony. But let's dig deeper. This isn't just a brainstorming session or a business partnership. It's something far more mystical, almost alchemical. Hill asserts, and this is the key, the most astonishing point, that when two or more minds unite in a spirit of harmony, a third, invisible and intangible force is created, which can be compared to a third mind. It's like a chemical reaction. Hydrogen is a flammable gas. Oxygen is a gas that supports combustion. Separately, they are just gases. But combine them in the right proportion, and you get water, the basis of life. It's the same with minds. When they unite in harmony, they create something new, not the sum of their parts, but their product. This third mind sees your blind spots. It asks the questions you're afraid to ask yourself. It connects ideas from different fields to create something entirely new. This third mind gives access to intuitive insights that are unavailable to an individual. It becomes your personal board of directors, your brain trust. Henry Ford didn't just hire experts, he created a harmonious alliance of minds. Andrew Carnegie built his empire not on steel, but on a perfectly selected mastermind group. People thought Carnegie's secret was in finance or technology. No, his greatest secret was in the psychology of human relationships. There it is, the treasure. True wealth isn't born from a single brilliant mind, but in the harmonious, trusting space between minds. It seems so simple, doesn't it? Just gather some friends, form a group, and success is guaranteed. But this, my friend, is where we find the price that must be paid for this treasure. A price most are unwilling to pay. Let's call it the 3 tolls on the bridge to mastery. The first and highest toll is the toll of vulnerability. To create a true mastermind, you must first abandon the lone wolf's primary illusion. I know best. You have to go to your most trusted people and say, I'm stuck. My strategy isn't working. I can't see a way out. I need your help. This is an act of incredible courage that few are capable of. We are afraid of appearing weak, incompetent. But it is in this vulnerability that the true strength of the group is born. The second toll is the toll of harmony. Hill constantly emphasizes this word. A group will not work if there is room for envy, hidden criticism, or the desire to assert oneself at another's expense. Creating and maintaining an atmosphere of complete trust and sympathy is a colossal inner work. It means rejoicing in a friend's success more than your own. It means giving feedback that helps, not hurts. It's like tending a rare garden. You must constantly pull out the weeds of selfishness and doubt. And the third toll is the toll of commitment. These relationships don't just happen. They are an investment of time and energy. It means regular meetings, even when you don't feel like it. It means being willing to set aside your own tasks to help another. It means discipline. This is precisely why a true mastermind is so rare. It's easier to lock yourself in your tower and try to do everything alone. But as we've already understood, that is the longest, loneliest, and most inefficient path. And now, let's return to your room, to your list of goals where we began. Look at it again. But this time, imagine you're not looking at it alone. Imagine that next to you sit 2, 3, 4 people whom you trust implicitly. People whose success and growth are as important to you as your own. Let's give them roles. One of them is your devil's advocate, the wise skeptic who sees all the risks and helps you prepare for them. He doesn't extinguish your fire. He helps make it safe. Another is the unshakable optimist who sees opportunities where you see only obstacles and energizes you with their faith. A third is the connector, a person with a vast network who says, I know someone who can help with that, and opens a door you never even knew existed. And the fourth is simply the guardian of the spirit, who, when you're ready to give up, puts a hand on your shoulder and says, we believe in you. Go for it. We've got your back. Do you feel how the energy shifts? The burden that seemed unbearable becomes lighter. The fog of uncertainty lifts. The path you had to hack through the wilderness alone transforms into a well-lit road you walk together. You've returned to your world, but you've brought with you the greatest power of all, the power of unity. The secret of Think and Grow Rich is not just to think, and it's not even just to act. The secret is to think and act together. When you discover this principle, you cease to be just a person striving for a goal. You become a center of gravity for other minds, a magnet for opportunities. You stop being just a player on the field. You become the team owner, the strategist who sees the entire game. You become a master of two worlds, your inner world of ideas and the outer world of people, and you know how to connect them to achieve something great. You are no longer a lone wolf. You are an architect of alliances. So, the main question to ask yourself tonight is not, what should I do? But who will be in my circle? With whom are you ready to share your boldest dreams and your biggest fears? Whose victories will bring you joy as if they were your own? Whose shoulder are you prepared to offer in a difficult moment? Your homework after this conversation is not to write a new plan. It's to write a list. A list of those you will invite to your round table. Think about it, my friend. Because what if the greatest wealth we can build is not created for ourselves, but between us?